Let's start off with a hunting related question today, and it's basically going to be about targeting the ruffed grouse. And hey, a lot of people say, oh, I've taken a few birds, but I don't really target them specifically. I actually still do. I still target grouse. I have to shoot them either on the ground or in treed. I've actually taken 2 out of the air, and they're probably by chance. How is that? Well, I took a shot on the ground and the bird jumped into the arrow. That's over a period of 40 years. You're highly likely not going to hit these birds when they take off. They're a challenge even for the best, well pointing over and under and side-by-side shotguns. So with a bow and arrow, you're going to have a pretty tough time in the air. But if you take your time, you walk old logging roads or trails, places where the birds have lots of forage and they can pick up gravel for their crop, things like that, you can be fairly successful. And they're a heck of a lot of fun with the bow because they simulate what you're going to find in big game hunting, but at a much more of a micro level. So the stalking ability, the spotting ability, and of course hitting one is something else as well. Now, when I talk about arrowheads for grouse, I like something that's going to, not only do, a sufficient amount of damage to put that bird down and not wound it or just injure it. My 3 favorite heads for hunting them: the venerable judo, of course, not going to lose them. I prefer head and neck shots on birds with these now off the ground, and I've taken a lot of grouse specifically chasing them with these heads. Oh, we don't really do endorsements on school unless they have an affiliation, but I do like the VPA small game heads. They're fairly effective as well. Of course, my favorite one now is the Ace Hex Blunt. I will actually sharpen that little indents in the end, that little convex head in there. I'll actually sharpen up those edges. What I like about the Hex Blunt is the weights you can get them in, and they really do they really thump a bird really well. I find they're very, very effective heads. The way I hunt with my bird dogs, specifically, I use nothing but flu-flus when I'm out with them. A lot of your shots are gonna be on the ground, but we've got a couple of areas on our property even here where the birds all feed up in the trees. The dog will get on point, and you can actually get a shot on them. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Those are the heads I tend to use. Hunting grouse is a great way of getting kids involved simply because there's a lot of birds, and it teaches them to spot and stalk and try to get that shot off, because the bird generally will not give you a lot of time. Very short window, very short shot exposure on these birds on the ground or even in a tree before they take off. I highly encourage you to get out. It'll sharpen your instincts, it'll sharpen your senses, and if you got kids, it's a great way to introduce them, because simply the amount of contact you can have on a good 2-3 hour walk and good grouse cover. Until next time, keep a broadhead sharp and your string waxed. Cheers.